Hello guys, welcome to my channel. In this video we're gonna analyze tips on winning a scholarship. So exact practical steps which you need to do. Let's get started. The first thing you need to do is to prioritize your application process. Ideally, you have to apply to every scholarship which you're qualified. However, if you have limited amount of time to apply for scholarships, in this case, prioritize and apply only for your top priorities. But make sure that you are applying both to lucrative, prestigious and also less competitive small scholarships. In this case, you can increase your chances of win. The second thing is that use a calendar and a checklist in order to get organized. So why is it important? Because if you miss the deadline, you are losing any chance of winning an award. Scholarship programs do not accept late applications, so do not procrastinate. Use Google Calendar and set reminder at least like 2 weeks before the due date and highlight your top priorities. Also, your checklist should include the list of the required documents such as essays, recommendation letters, or it can be also about maybe some test scores. You need to have time to prepare and to take these exams. Because of that, checklist is very important. Start working on your application process as soon as possible. Do not wait until the last days because usually the website will be overloaded and you can have some technical problems. As well as that, if you rush, then you won't be able to check and proofread your application carefully. So please start early. As well as that, I recommend you to put your documents in each separate folder for different scholarships. In this case, you'll be more organized and you won't confuse anything. Create an accomplishments list. An accomplishment list actually it's a one-page summary of your most important and relevant achievements. Write down everything, your every achievement, but when it comes to apply, choose only the relevant ones. For example, if you apply for Italian university in order to study science or math, let's say, and in your CV you mentioned that you won Korean language competition, I think this information is a bit irrelevant because you need to present yourself as a competitive science or math student. Tailor your application to the sponsor's goals. Do a bit of background research. You need to identify why are they sponsoring the scholarship, what's their mission and what's their goals. You can increase your chances if you match the scholarship sponsor's goals, but you shouldn't lie or exaggerate. For example, let's say that it's a science scholarship, but you've realized that scholarship sponsor is interested in photography and you've decided to mention it in your application as your hobby. Of course, it's okay, but if it's science scholarship in an interview, you can be asked about chemical processes which makes photography possible, or even about CMOS sensors. So don't be surprised if you have such questions. Because of that, be careful. Do not lie, do not exaggerate, but try to fit the scholarship requirements. Read and follow the instructions. Scholarship sponsors are often rigid when it comes to the requirements because they have so many applications that it's easy for them to eliminate the applications with grammar, spelling errors. Make your application stand out. Your essays especially should contain some kind of stories which are memorable and which stand out because they have so many applications and you need to be memorable. In order to write great essay, it's not necessary to have an extreme experience. Even ordinary and everyday experience can be memorable if they provide some kind of insight towards your goals. For example, mother who is on maternity leave, who created or carried out research on a smart calendar in order to manage all the stuff related to children's, like doctor's visit or some kind of shopping or some kind of procedures, etc. So from this situation, it's possible to write a great story. Or again, if it's about mothers, let's say girl or woman who write an essay about food poisoning treatment because she got a motivation because of her children's nutrition. She cares about them. It's much more memorable and it stands out in comparison with the essays where you write about your dead dog or your favorite artist. It's not that interesting. Also, try to avoid everything which can cause extreme opinions. It can be topics about politics, gender, or it can be about abortion, global warming, about capital punishment. Write a winning scholarship essay. Try to participate in essay contests because an essay which written before can be reused for your future applications. The only thing you need to do is tailoring your essays. So it means that you will always make it better by revising. Okay? But if you have some trouble with writing, then you can speak out loud and record your speech, and after that transcribe it. So in this case you can have better flow of thoughts because we speak faster than we write, so it can be also helpful. When you write your essays, always try to be specific, always give examples, always answer the question why. For example, if you chose the course Educational Psychology in specific university and you need to answer the question, why did you choose it? Why are you interested in this specific course? Even if you mention some university courses from their curriculum, you always need to explain why. For example, the reason why I chose the educational psychology is because the suicide level among teens in my country is quite high, so I'd like to contribute in the future to the mental health of future generation. So it's more convincing than just writing, I am passionate about educational psychology and I want to be a helpful member of a society. Okay? So make sure that you answer always the question why. Essay do's and don'ts. Read and follow the instructions. Do not skip application questions. Keep word limit. Avoid passive voice. Active voice is more powerful. If there is a page limit, don't try to squeeze more text on a page by adjusting the font size and the page margins. Usually essays are written in Times New Roman, point 10 or larger, and space margin 1. Don't use acronyms, don't overuse synonyms. Going further, ask for a great recommendation letter. Your recommenders can be your advisors, teachers, supervisors, coach, or director of a community service which you've volunteered for, but they cannot be your family members. The recommenders should be relevant to the scholarship. For example, if you're applying to science scholarship, you cannot ask your English teacher to write a recommendation letter even if she writes well, because it's inappropriate. Final steps before you submit your application. Double check to make sure you are not missing an important part of an application. Use a professional email address such as name/surname@gmail.com. Never use email addresses such as sweetgirl@mail.ru or hotboyusa@gmail.com. So they are not acceptable. If you use social media websites like Instagram, Facebook, so please clean up your content and remove anything which can be considered as immature or inappropriate. Also, Google your name. Again, clean up any irrelevant information because it's your image, it's your status, you need to care about it. That's all for today. Please subscribe and leave comments if you have any questions. I'll try to answer them.